In 2026, the United States will host the biggest sporting event on the planet, and for the first time in a generation, people are actually asking a serious question. Can America win it? Not just, maybe they'll surprise someone, actually, win the whole thing. Here's what's wild. 4 years ago, nobody was asking that, but something has quietly changed about American football, and by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what it is and whether it's enough. Let's start with the basics. The U.S. men's national team, people call them the USMNT, is the group of American players chosen to represent the country at the World Cup. Think of it like an all-star team, except instead of one sport league, you're pulling the best players from everywhere. Different clubs, different countries, different continents. And right now, the talent pool is genuinely different to anything America has ever had. Here's the stat that surprises most people. The majority of the current U.S. squad plays professionally in Europe, not in America. In Europe, the same leagues that produce the best players on earth. That matters more than you might think. For most of football history, American players were seen as athletes first, footballers second, good at running, good at physicality, but technically, behind. European and South American players learned the game differently, earlier, more obsessively. That gap is closing fast. The player that represents this shift better than anyone is Christian Pulisic. He plays for AC Milan in Italy, one of the most famous clubs in the world. He's not there as a novelty. He's there because he's genuinely good enough to compete at that level every single week. When Pulisic has a great game, American football has a great day. That's how central he is. But here's where it gets interesting. Pulisic is actually not the only American playing at that level anymore. Weston McKennie, Gio Reyna, Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa. These are players in their early to mid-20s competing against the best in the world every week. Not occasionally, every week. And most of them will be hitting their peak form right around 2026. Now, does that mean the U.S. will win? Not so fast. Winning a World Cup is genuinely one of the hardest things in sport. Only 8 countries have ever done it. Ever. In the entire history of the tournament. And the U.S. has never even made the final. The path is brutal. You play a minimum of 7 games in 1 month. Every opponent is world-class. A single injury, a single red card, a single unlucky penalty, and you're done. France, Brazil, Argentina, England, Germany. These countries have decades of tournament experience, systems, coaching depth, the kind of collective football instinct that takes generations to build. America is still building that. But, and this is important, the U.S. has one massive advantage that no other team will ever have again at this tournament. Home crowd. 3 of the knockout round venues are in America. Tens of thousands of fans. The psychological pressure on every opponent playing the host nation is enormous. History is full of countries that outperformed all expectations simply because they were at home. South Korea reached the semifinals on home soil in 2002. Who saw that coming? Nobody. So here's the realistic picture. The U.S. isn't going to walk through this tournament. They're not the favorites. They're not even close to the top 5 teams on paper. But this squad is the most technically prepared group of American players ever assembled. They're young, they're hungry, they play at the highest level of club football week in, week out, and they're playing at home in front of the loudest crowds on the continent. The question isn't, can America compete? They absolutely can. The real question is whether they can stay composed when it matters most, and whether this generation of players is ready to do something no American team has ever done before. That answer gets written in the summer of 2026. If you want to understand the World Cup properly before it starts, the rules, the format, how the groups work, why it's the biggest event in human history, this channel is going to break all of it down in a way that actually makes sense. Subscribe so you don't miss any of it.